Elder Mr. I'll be to me about you for 2 minutes. Pack on my yank, boy. And I remember good evening, a happy Sabbath, and remember you now welcome and so I would say the final evening for program. I for 3 days, and then the third night in a row I your program me. Now I mean the piece you know pepa na yatna ye fidie ho anaju bia me shop I say say toda ye dim ready nanso ye nya opepa edit name me can say yadamase pa yi. Now in that being the last day, it's a special, I would say they be a special, but in that day no so that's from pa yi. It's sound say ye were different people and are different branches of the military. Ayi na yaka ho abu mind they are going to be a part of the panel. Now, sanya announcement need can call if you have a youth around, a youth for them make your announcement that before saying they are to me sign a retreat beyond my say. If you have a youth around manipa no embra line so because the information in the ibinyano will really help us and it's very impactful. So twinu na ye kana de maya on this panel we have English ayedeko on this panel no you English ayede. Nisa need to bring them around. Who book ne paper so wait to me because information eba ndo so me wa media wa obeti obun se bita me pen me wa media wa ha me di bedi me dwuma ansa na yebeto aso no mek yebekata ni na yene sergeant entry abompaye sergeant entry army or army sergeant meaning so ye non-commissioned officer very just a impenifo ni bi pa ono na boy opening prayer maye ansa na ya she ye njuma na se ye na ebekata ni bibia ye wo no. All right, sergeant entry, so you have to pray, give us the opening prayer.
Good evening, everyone. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here. Thank you for somebody's mic. Thank you for the clothes on our backs, providing shelter for us, providing for us each and every day. We thank you for sending your one and only Son to die for our sins, so that whoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. We thank you for having the opportunity to be able to serve in the military, to be able to be able-bodied, to be able to walk, talk, think, and move freely on our own. We ask that you continue to shine your guiding light, to lead us, to protect us, and to guide us each and every day of our lives as we honor you May tonight honor you and bring you glory and you alone. In Jesus' name we ask and pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you, Sergeant. Master, I said, baby, are you dream if you can turn on your cameras, I'm sure now turning it on am I? If you can turn on your cameras, please do that for us. It's very important. Say we'll be able to see whoever we are interacting with. In the way to me turn our cameras on, that would be very, very helpful. In the program yes, say time with current or serving members. One more survey currently, no, we are spending time with them. It's are two the topics: the service with integrity, time with current members. Service with integrity, time with current members. Now, me a host for in the midi chame no, me the CSR account, which is contracted senior ROTC. I used to be a PFC. On this same panel, no, we have CW2, that's Chief Warrant, CW2, Chief Warrant Officer Asante. Yes, sounds war A1 A1C Jamra Amwate, who is an Air Force. Yes, also was specialist Akon Army. You were Lieutenant Henne, which is Navy, and I were WO1 Asante. Yeah, Asante, WO1 Asante. These are the guys who are going to help us with today's program. Me, I'm saying I'm Yeja Bakum. Ye wo Cadet Ejekum. And so her Cadet Ejekum. I wouldn't go in to introduce them that much. Obia Bekasa, they will give us a brief intro. Whether 30 seconds intro, very quick and rapid one. Sana Yedi and Komo. To begin with, Mesha say, let me see who do I have on here. If you are able to turn on your cameras, please do so. I'll be able to see and interact with you in the right direction, in the right way. So, answer never starts. No, remember your panelists. No, in this order. You remember Cadet Ejekum Mako first. Then we go to WO1 Asante. Now you call A1C Jamira. Now you call Lieutenant Hene. Yefriwa. Now you call CWO2 Asante. I would want you to give us a brief intro of yourself. If it just 30 seconds, rapid introduction. 30 seconds, rapid introduction. What we want to see is your name, your rank, the branch of service, and how long you've been in the military. Those are the things we want to see. So, Cadet Ejekum, if you want to go first.
All right, thank you, Brother Arco. My name is Stuart Ejekum. I'm currently in the George Mason RTC with Brother Arco here. I'm commissioned this spring, upcoming spring with Arco. Are you commissioned as well, or are you commissioned?
No, not this spring. Not this spring.
No, not spring. But I commissioned this spring as a second lieutenant in the West Virginia National Guard. So I'll be a second lieutenant, and then I've been in RTC for about 5 years. So I'm just completing my studies, and then I should be done after that. So I passed off to
WO1
warrant officer. Yeah, warrant officer. Go
ahead. Good evening. My name, you all know me already, Asante, W1 Asante. I've been in service for 14 years, longer than most people on this line. So I've done so many things. I've worked in the motor pool, fixing different vehicles. I did some IT, and now I'm back to the motor pool fixing stuff. So that's just a little about me.
So what branch of service? What branch though?
Army.
Okay, thank you. We go on to Jamira. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, guys. I'm Airman First Class Jamra Mwate. I've been in the Air Force for about 2 years now, and the branch is Air Force.
Air Force, 2 years now. What is your rank again?
Airman First Class.
Airman First Class. Thank you very much. All right, we go on to the only Navy amongst us. I mean, we have one Navy and one Air Force. They've been ambushed in here. So, is Lieutenant Henne around?
Yeah, hello. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Henne. I've been in the Navy for 6 years. And I'm a nurse in the Navy as well. Reserves actually. And then what was the other question?
Yeah, did you mentioned your branch? Did you mention how long
Yes.
you've been in the service?
I've been in the Navy for what, 6-7 years? Yes.
Mhm.
And yes, I'm a nurse in the Navy as well. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, A1, see, Jamra, did you say you've been in the service for how long did you say you've been in the service for?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, that's fine. And then we have CWO2 Asante. I don't know if I messed up your rank, but you can correct me when you introduce yourself.
It's okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Love. Everybody know me already. I'm in the United States Army. I'm a CW2, a Chief Warrant Officer, and I pretty much save the Army money and make sure they have everything they need to stay equipped and go to war and all that good stuff.
So how long have you been in the service again?
12 years.
12. Okay. So it looks like we have a combined total of 20, 32. So 37. I've been in for just about a year and under, so say 38. So we have specialist account. I don't know if specialist is on now. Okay, so specialist.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, my name is Specialist Aqua Benjamin. I've been in the Army for over a year, so yeah, just a year and some months. I'm a 92 Alpha, and in the Army, when we say 92 Alpha, it's basically like a logistics specialist. So you basically work paperwork, being in the motor pool, checking up inventories and all that. And I'm also in the reserve compartment. So I'm not active duty. I'm a reservist, so I just go to drill mostly like on weekends and when they need personnel for certain duties and tasks. So yeah, basically we are just helping one way or the other. Thank you.
Yeah. So it looks like we have a combined total of almost over 40 years on here. It was for the air can say you on penny for what honey very, very important to be the umbabe can ye because it is a here. Wednesday, your question about say at the end of year youth because I'm crying out what are they going how are they going to understand us? Into the diverse group here be into chi beba. Ebi we be so na fantina baba film. Bro, for no matter what happens, is going to come in here. So, first question out of the way, there is this question that came up, and out maybe it's that question now. I just want it to go round. Whoever wants to pick up the question can answer it for us. So, the first question that I received and I also wrote down is that regardless of how long we've been in, there are challenges we all face. So, I just want to throw this out. Have you faced any challenge in uniform by virtue of wearing this uniform? Have you gone through any challenge that you think left a mark in your mind that you believe is important for you to share? That say tomorrow I go through that same challenge, I'll be able to know my way and navigate this. More so being a Ghanaian, being let's say black, yes, being a Ghanaian, or being black, because we have not all Ghanaians here. So is there any challenge you went through that you would want to share? Any challenge, being it school, being it your previous MOS, your current MOS, regardless of where you face the challenge. Anybody wants to share this? So yeah, the question goes for anybody. I think we have yeah, any of you six can take up this question. Any challenge you went through by virtue of being in the military and how you navigated your way out of it. Is it classified? Is it classified information?
I will jump on it.
Okay.
So I wanted some of the young soldiers or young service members to share theirs first before I come in. But right when I joined, so we all hear about race and all that stuff. It is real. And I think I've said this in church before, that because of who we are and where we come from, we have to do more to stand out so nobody can ignore us, right? If you're very good at what you do, you're going to be the first person that comes to mind when somebody needs something from you. When I joined basic training, I did my best. I was part of the top 10% of the whole battalion that graduated. Right when we graduated, my drill sergeant called me to the side and was like, "Hey, I apologize. When you came in here, because of who you are and how you talk, because I have an accent now, but it was way bad back in the day. Because of who you are and how you talk, I didn't think you were smart enough for me to give you leadership position. But after interacting with you and looking at how you carry yourself, I think we would have done better than most of the people that I put in leadership position." Right? So I say this to say is that you're going to face discrimination, which I did, and we still do. But that shouldn't deter you from being your best and doing your best every day, because people see it and they acknowledge it. And when they need something, you're going to be the one that they're going to come to.
Hmm. This is inspiring. This is inspiring. It means that there is still the issue of race everywhere, regardless. All right. Any other person wants to share something? At the end, our film who said we did now a idea in pay so you were able to navigate your way through. Well, sending as Stuart, I can't, I'm in the same boat as Stuart, except say I enlisted first in the National Guard and then I contracted in the ROTC. Now, I would say that in school, it's very difficult for me, especially as a working man. I work full time, do school full time, and then do the military. I would say drills full time, school full time, and then yeah. So there are times where I feel like I can't even do drills today. And I'm sorry for taking up your spot. I feel like I have to share this. There are times because people would want to go to school and still do this. So there are times where I feel like I can't actually go to drills. I can't do anything. But guess what? I have to push my way. I have to push and then move all the way through. This very semester, we started and I couldn't really make it through the very first 5 drills. So like W1 Asante said, I ensured that during my diagnostic AFT test, I gave it my all. They knew what I had already. They knew the kind of they knew what I used to get earlier on before I left basic. When it was out of 600, I used to be around the 400s thereabout. But this time around, I moved past 450, and I told them I can do way more than that. And I showed up in every drill, made sure I was pushing above the limit. If we have to do 8 laps, I'm doing 10 laps, and I'm moving with top speed. So at the end of the day, they called me to the office and asked me, "We know you're having a problem. Your AFT is all the way on at the top. You are showing up in class and doing everything you have to do. So any day you feel like you cannot make it here, just shoot us a text." So that challenge became something easy for me. I was able to cross it. Second challenge is the issue of money. I nobody wants to let free money go. I realized there is money in ROTC, and out of the blue, I was just called to the office. "Hey, so based on these things, this criteria, you qualify for it. Take this amount." And that blew my mind away. I started asking people around, "Hey, have you received any money from Padre? Have you received this?" And nobody received it. Out of about 50 of us, just 4 people received that amount this very semester. Which means that even if you just show up and show out, and it's going to work well for you. Let me ask the Navy person here, Lieutenant Henne. Can you give us one of the challenge you faced in the Navy? One challenge you faced in the Navy and how you navigated through. I think someone texted that we have to mention names, which is very true. So, Lieutenant, we want you to give us diverse opinions because 2 Army guys have spoken. We want the Navy person to tell us something, Navy personnel. So, what challenge have you been through before we move to the next question? And for the next question, I would want the airman to answer that for me. So, Lieutenant Henny, anything you've gone through that you want to share? Okay, so I guess I would move on to my next question. I'll move on to my next question, and then we'll have the free range aspect of it. So my next question is it. Okay. How has serving in the military impacted your service to God and the community as a whole? Your service currently, how has that impacted your church life and the community as a whole? A1C Jamra, do you want to take that for us?
Okay, so it's made me appreciate the freedom and the time that I used to have to be able to go and have a service like a church. So when I first got in for basic, I think basic training, we did have a Seventh Day Adventist group there, but for test school I didn't. So for that period of time, I wasn't able to like go to church and stuff like that. So after beginning, I am just grateful that whenever I get the chance to and then the opportunity to, I can go look for a church to actually go and then worship in.
Okay, that is good. It means we have to appreciate every time we get. So this question also goes to specialist account. Can you tell us anything about this? How has this impacted your service to God and the community you find yourself in?
Okay, so with being in the military, which is my branch of service, being the army, it's not actually been easy, especially from the training time. Because as you know, the others were saying, when you get to training, you don't have anything like Saturday, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. All you know is, oh, I'm going to get my shirt, my suit, and my shoe to go to church and maybe listen to some preaching or something. But this Saturday, my first Saturday being there at like 4:30, someone is here shouting, you need to wake up, go and run, go and do this. And I'm like, I'm not used to this, you know. So it's gonna beat your mind for some time. But then after a while, you just get to know that okay, you had the opportunity to do all this while you were home, and then this time you don't have the opportunity. So what it's telling you is that when you go back to me, it is and it's not your free time. So it's something I really appreciated it. And then when I got out, can we speak Chi?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, you
like
can, you
I
can,
heard everyone speaking English. That's why I'm
you
speaking
can,
English.
you
Can
can,
we
you can,
speak
you can speak
Chi or
free,
speak
speak
music for
fancy,
today?
anything.
Okay. Auntie, yeah. And your free training by afe ubia timi ye the openo. And then there was this time you call annual training, which is almost 2 weeks long. And you know, it was a Saturday and your training. You have to do this, you have to do that. And then based on that, it will be Adventist for share like and yet for church services here but then at least people meet, you talk about God, you don't really pray much, but then at least ultimately the general Advent view, I mean, we share for. And you know, from that no maybe back no be say now Saturday we ye who were chow, like I mean food joint. Into Okwa, oh yeah, we had a small, I mean, church meeting here and there. So another crowd man perform who say, hey, like there's this thing people even do on Saturdays. And I'm telling you for a fact, like probably no winning class Saturday, no, they are be more sorry and as I say. Into who say be a wo banon will be so auntie. And then no then I'm here or then I'm here. Then you tell somebody something small. And you know, being in the military and also serving God, no, it gives you an understanding of how, you know, when you have freedom, how you use it.
and I also know when I for a kasakra na utimi nya chance de nyame asem I mean only obiche, but for a fact to the military don't endorse like sharing God's word publicly to everybody just like that, except maybe chaplaincy department is organizing something. But one guy I won't mean say watching comfort now as an old religion and I say BBC. But then I mean when someone asks you something, you are just expressing yourself in what you do. So and no crama it be could appreciate what you are saying the more. And see, this is my take on like church activities and how it affects the military life and how you can balance it.
Yeah, thank you very much. With the mention of Yinaye Kanu Yobia Kana Yakobo Penny Bidini Adi. Like we see on penny for me and so Sergeant Enchua. Ye wo WO and CW. Ye was ango for me and saying these are the people who are our leaders. It's the question I want to ask. You see, me Piama Motoreno. Sergeant Entry, forgive me if this is just an impromptu one. It just came to me. What do you guys do? Because I know you were like as a sergeant, you definitely the least you would be a team lead. The least would be a team lead. You definitely have soldiers that you are mentoring or you are taking care of. And as a WO or CW means you are all the way up there. All the way up there. You went through the ranks before you get there. You got there. My question is there a way out in the army? Because you three are army. Is there a way out in the army where soldiers can actually serve God, say not with a larger group? Is there a way out? Is there a way out? What have you seen? What have you heard? What does the doctrine say? Is there a way out for us? I don't know, Sergeant Entry, you can go first, and then we let CWO to Asante also take it.
Can you clarify that question? What do you
So,
mean by is there a way out?
so we heard specialist Akon talk about you not having that freedom to like say gather a group of people to teach them something about God. And also we heard A1C Jamra talk about not having the Adventist church close by when she went to technical training. So my question is, for these two, what can we do? What can we do when we get into that situation? Say there are people who want to actually study the word and they come to you. What can we do in that situation? And if there is no Adventist church around and yet we want to serve God on the Sabbath, what can we do? I'm asking this because there are definitely some people in here who would want to join the service, but are thinking of serving God. Like, how can I serve God when you're telling me it's kind of difficult? What can we do in such situations?
Good question. I'll answer for myself. I would say while there's still breath of life, you can serve God any day, anywhere. Like they mentioned before, military is not. They're open. They say they're open. You can have whatever religion you want, but they don't really promote it well. But you can definitely always find a way to serve God. Like I just got a new phone, and I got this case, and it says Jesus is King, and one of my soldiers, he was asking me about it. And then we're talking about, asking me questions about, my beliefs, Jesus. And then we had a discussion. One of the chaplains, he gave me a pocket Bible. So I just pulled up some scriptures and we were chatting with him because I had an annual training earlier this month. So you can find pockets like that, one of my friends, she's a believer as well. We were discussing with this other guy. There's a bunch of Africans in the army. I know people from Cameroon and Nigeria, whatever. So we actually had a small Bible study. So you can find ways where they aren't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Structured. It can be a little impromptu. Like, hey, I know you're a Christian. Let's, on Wednesdays or whatever, when we have some time, we can just talk about the Bible like that. Because they do religious services, but it's usually on Sundays. So you can go there as well, talk with the chaplains. I'm getting ready to go downrange, so I'm going to deploy in a bit. So that should be interesting. But while I'm there, I've been talking with the chaplains, seeing what they have scheduled or ready for us while we're down there. So
Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing, Sergeant. Thank you for sharing.
Well,
CWO2 Asante. Ma'am, can you share something for us in this regard?
Yeah, so basically I don't personally in my experience, the army does not hinder you from having a religion. So I just want to put that out there, right? So I think it just depends on if you're a reservist or if you're active duty. Um I don't know too much on the active duty side, but because I'm active duty in the reserves. But in my opinion, you are pretty much free to exercise whatever religious activity you have. Now, if you're somewhere where maybe a church might not be closed, my question is, do you drive? You know what I mean? Because that could be a hindrance as well. So if you're active duty and you don't have a mission that's on the Sabbath, more than likely you should be able to go to church. What I used to do, and I've been doing this way before I even joined the military. When I moved somewhere or came to a new place, if I didn't have a ride or anything, a lot of people don't know that you can actually Google a Seventh-day Adventist church, and most times those churches have services where some people are actually willing to come pick you up and bring you to church. That's kind of how you started coming to a UL's church, like just Googling and stuff like that. So you're free to have a religion of your choice. The army's not going to hinder you from that. They're not going to stop you. I've actually seen where soldiers in the reserves, some people are RST. I have this one guy in a unit that I was in that was a 7-day Adventist who we RST to just so he wouldn't have to come on the Sabbath. If you RST, he can come for a different day. Now, if you're AGR like I am, sometimes they're not very flexible because they want you there full time. But I think as you go up in the rank, for example, like I'm a warrant now. If I want to disappear to go to church on a Saturday, no one's gonna stop me. You know what I mean? So I feel like it has a lot to do with your rank and how you maneuver. But I do want to speak on the deployment because I know he mentioned the deployment. So I'm gonna tell you how it kind of works when you are have a religion on the deployment. So basically, all of this boils down to talking to the chaplain. So the way services work on a deployment, they have every service you can think of. Yes, they have worship services on Sundays, but if you voiced out your religion to the chaplain, because deployments, depending on where you're at, they can actually be pretty boring, like on the weekends. If you're not like covering for your life or running to the bunkers and stuff, you're probably going to be bored. So the chaplains, they're always looking for ways to incorporate not just the chaplain, the commanders and the officers as well. They're always looking for ways to entertain the soldiers when they're deployed. So if you're a 7-day Adventist, like we used to have a Sabbath worship when I was deployed. Like, it was like 3 or 4 of us that we told the chaplain. So if you incorporate your religious preference with the chaplain while you're deployed, they can add that. So like they have Muslim service when I was deployed. They had the 7-day Adventist gathering. They had the Sunday worship and all that. Now, it might not always be on a Saturday because again, when you're deployed, your schedule's a little different. So you might have to do it on a Sunday, but they still honor like they're gonna be like, okay, this is the Christian service, or this is the Jewish service. You know what I mean? Like they still honor what your religion is, but it may not just happen on the Sabbath as you want it to. But I've never been in a situation since I've been in the military that I wanted to get excused to go to church or I wanted to do something for the Sabbath and they were like, oh, you can't do that. You know what I mean? I think the
Yeah.
army generally encourages you to have a religious background because based on our job and what we go through, they actually want you to have some sort of faith to be able to lean on. But if you don't, it's also respected as well. So that's what I've seen in my experience.
Oh, thank you very much. I think last year I went to an AUSA event where we had, I think was it a 4-star general coming to talk about the holistic, is it holistic something? I don't have my notes here. Holistic service or something, holistic health, something. And there was a portion where our mental health was important. And in that mental health, there was a portion for religion. So, like I was saying, for anybody who wants to join or you're already in here, if you want to do anything religion wise, like Sergeant AP also mentioned, we have to partner with the chaplains. Right off the bat, just go to them and talk to them. They will definitely find a way out. And they will tell you there is this thing not there is this thing where you cannot be buddy buddy with your leaders. There is a technical word for that. I'm trying so hard to fraternization. You can fraternize with them, but you can definitely show out that you are valuable to the unit you are in. You are very valuable to the unit you are in. And when that happens, guess what? Your concern or your issues will be a priority for them. You should be a priority. I see some questions in the group in the text message aspect. It says that with a degree, do you still have to do the test before the military ranking position. So let me rephrase that. So I'm done with my master's. I'm done with my first degree. I have a PhD. Do I still have to go and write the exams, which is the ASVAB? Do I still have to write the exams before the military gives me a rank? And for this, I would want the Lieutenant Henry to take this for me. I want Lieutenant Henry to give us an answer on this, and then from there we can have W1 Asante take it. Not even W. I'll have specialist Akon because I know he joined when he was done with Kali, so we would have him also take that. So Lieutenant Henry, can you give us an answer for this? Some person me join the military, not me real school, me real college, me real masters, not person me join now. So I just me sign for three exams, be man, and then no how kind the same. Lieutenant Henry said, "Oh, so I'll be to me and my okay." So I'm say either we have technical issue. Specialist Akon, can you give us an answer for this one?
All right. Inti, about joining with your educational background. The first business or also war educational background, which is the least, is high school diploma. And from Africa and Ghana, Ebekano preschool was certificate. And only the lowest you can join with. So no now sign or any higher one. The best recruiters they will advise you to bring your higher one. So me in my case, when I wanted to join, make a chair recruiter and say, oh, me me high school to join it. And now, I share Brofuni idea make and I say, are you sure high school is your highest level of education? Let me see, oh, I have a first degree. No, see, yeah, and see, or say first degree. What the first degree no call? Ah, once the every country no money the ebe in kakra, the ebe said they will have to evaluate it and know the credits they are giving you for it. Say, and then I had there no, then they give you the 100% score for college certificate. In the no sound, they will put you at a rank, will be a university, America, Hano, everyone. But then, I'm evaluating wo credit, no, it is below power. And no kind still they will give you a rank above will be or the high school diploma in a room. So he just advised me to give my credentials and my records. Then they will pull it from Ghana. No more there because I finished university in Ghana. So that advice no me won't say a help because in Camede just me regular
High
high
school.
school signing up I would start from E1 enlisted like but then because of university we now I'm evaluating and they had there no with everything at score no they had to put me on the highest way which is E4. That is the highest you can join as an enlisted with a degree or a master's or anything. And although my university was not even from here, no, it gave me an E4 rank, which is a specialist. Into the same thing, how much more says a way we university will chrome her, and I said, well, masters will chrome her. You still have to join with your highest educational credential. That is what is going to help you scale up faster. Because yes, what the S will be the SS joining and edible drew won't now what's a sergeant class account. So always, if you have been to school before, even if it is just for 2 years, tell them they would score it out, evaluate your credit score. I mean your school credits hours, and then maybe give you an E2 or E3. Where you swear they will have to evaluate it. If it is not so okay, they'll give you E3. If it is very okay, they'll give you E4. And that is the advice I give to everybody who has an educational level higher than a high school. That go in with your highest peak, and then when you are fortunate, you can get E4 or E3. Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. So, specialist, do you still have to write the ASVAB?
Yeah, so the ASVAB is not about your educational level. The ASVAB is what everybody does to get in. So master's degree, PhD, high school diploma, you still need to write the ASVAB to even start your process. ASVAB in a year the baseline, no? Because who we are. It means okay, your IQ is okay to work with the army because army on pobia only mean basic arithmetic calculations. It is based off mathematics, English, mechanical mechanical knowledge, any idea. So pobia will at least you cut 2+2 when you mad crow. Say you try walk over na ya try say don't pass this line. When him say me pass the line way.
Okay.
That is what the ASVAB checks. It doesn't
Mm.
check your educational level and as a BBR. So
Okay.
once you pass that, no, I feel na you do education in your man ebe consider be a one to. So the education only comes in when you are done. But the ASVAB is a bare minimum for everything you want to do in the army or
Okay.
the
Thank
military.
you
Yeah.
very much.
Nana
Thank
Akon,
you very much. Yes,
me
Lieutenant.
pacho, me phone need do me enti man two question. Can you please ask it again?
Okay, so BBC say we our degree and our masters are can normal be joining military now. Are they supposed would they still be required to write ASVAB? And especially Akwamba even to say for or no coming in with the undergraduate degree from Ghana, no, he still had to write the ASVAB and it places him on a certain level. It's meaning if Navy is the same thing now.
Okay. Enti my main card me minim. So
Okay.
me what a friend say. Me I think say me na ka 1 year mama wie me undergrad no. And I started say me me ba ha no nyina na me pese me join but recruiter na me ne kasa ye no. Ya onyama me no. Na me was accelerated program enti na ene boot camp no na ene ne correlate nti o ye say na me train me wie school a then no kra na beboa mama timi coming in they can commission me in as an officer enti me I did not write any ASVAB enti me timi can about ASVAB because I did not
Oh,
write any ASVAB. I just waited and then of course me drop a and me be school. I worked for a year and half and I'm started say I want to join again. Like I'm saying, yeah, so interest and so I want to join again. It's a year maybe be a year, you know. I was commissioned in direct commissioned as an officer. I didn't write any ASVAB. I just commissioned, went for the training, and I started working. And luckily for me, you know, me juma me in civilian and one me in military. You know, I didn't have to do anything a EBR. I just had to make sure say I was credentialed and Debbie and I will get work hours to be credentialed into the Navy as well as a nurse,
okay.
no. And you
Okay.
know, for ASVAB dear, minim it me fan say me be with undergrad, which I
Okay.
had my degree already because me remu na my VA school with my
Okay.
degree.
Nurse, you'll be a natural ASVAB no, from
I
your
for what I know,
experience. No.
maybe I can speak to it,
Okay.
senior be an transfer because my be.
Yeah, okay.
And
All right.
I went in with my bachelor's. And you know, I don't know about everybody taking the ASVA, but I did not take the
Okay.
ASVA.
All right. Thank you. And
Thank
say
you.
Obi Sa was sure.
Can I
Obi Sa.
toss in my queen? This
Yes.
is
Yes.
Elijah. Yeah. Okay. Two things. Two things. Say, you are going in as enlisted. Enlisted. That's what Benjamin said. If you are going as enlisted, whether you have all kinds of degree, you have to write the ASVAB.
Mhm.
But if you are going in as an officer, that's the route that Abigail went. For that one, you don't need to write the ASVAB. But maybe like Benjamin Akon, he came from Ghana with his degree. He cannot be an officer. The reason being that he's not a citizen in the first place. If he is a citizen and he decides to go to as a commissioned officer, then there's no need for him to write an ASVAB. That's the only point I want to toss in. I know Asante
All right.
will speak about it.
All right. So before Asante even comes in, Asante would not speak about this, he'll speak about something else. We have Stuart here. He is a college student and in ROTC, like he said, he's going to commission in the spring. In less than 5 months. If I see him, I have to salute him. Yeah, in less than 5 months, I have to salute him. So he can actually speak on this also when it comes to the officer route. So can you tell us something about this Stuart when it comes to the ASVAB?
Yeah, so like Elder Elijah said, if you're going in as an officer into the military, you don't have to take the ASVAB. There's like three ways to be an officer when it comes to military. First way is going through RTC. You don't have to take the ASVAB for that, but you have to go through college, usually 2 to 4 years of college, and then you do the program classes, PT stuff like that. But you don't have to take the ASVAB for that. You just have to get commission. You just have to get contracted whether through the Guard or through the RTC program, and then do the requirements that are necessary for the RTC program, and then you graduate into the Army. Other option is OCS, so Officer Training School. That is when you graduate from college, you have your bachelor's, you have your master's, whatever, but you want to be an officer. You can go to a recruiter, tell them, hey, I have my credentials, I have my degree. They probably recommend you to go to Officer Training School. That way you go in as an officer with your credentials, but you have to go to a program. It's a couple months, couple years long. I'm not too sure on the details, but it's quite some time.
Yeah, I think it depends on the MOS.
It depends on the MOS, but
yes.
It's more condensed. It's like RTC is more condensed. You do your land training, PT. It's very strenuous, very hard. Not a lot of people are able to do it, but it is worthwhile. It is a good option if you're graduating and you still want to join as an officer and not enlisted. And then I know they mentioned direct commission. I don't know if someone else can speak on that. I've heard about it, but I don't know too much about that option.
I think Sergeant Entry sent that in. If he is available. Oh, okay, ma'am.
I could speak a little bit on direct commission because I did talk to someone about it a couple of days ago. So I'm only speaking on the MOSs I know and for the Army. I don't know about all the MOS. So I know direct commission right now for like chaplains and medical people that like kind of what Lieutenant Heaney said. It's a good route to go if you already have your degree and you're a citizen, right? Because with the chaplains, I know they just have to be affiliated with a church. So if you're like a pastor already with a church, the way how the direct commission route works, you just have to have a church to like vouch for you. It's pretty much kind of like the same thing, but a little bit shorter process as compared to the enlisted side where you got to do the ASVAB and all that.
Okay. Sergeant Entry, do you have anything else to add to this, or that's?
She pretty much just hit the nail on the head. I just did a quick Google search, and yeah, there's a couple of fields. Like she said, medical, cyber, logistics, like the highly specialized. There was a friend I had in basic training. He was a pharmacist. I think he either had his master's or his doctorate level degree. And last time I saw, he said he had direct commissioned as a captain, a 03. Yeah. So depending on your job level, you can, in your education level, you can just direct commission.
Yeah, I can speak to the chaplaincy aspect. The chaplain, the understand that you can know your software, but and yes, your software, you should have a master's degree, a master's in divinity or any affiliated field that has to do with teaching people psychologically know that, and you need ecclesiastical endorsement.
And also ordained.
Ordained, yes. You should be ordained. You should be ordained, and you should have ecclesiastical endorsement. Even if you're ordained, you should have that. And the next thing is you should have been serving for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. So that is what I remember from that. The next question is very important to me, very important. And this I'll just leave it as a free range. I'll let Asante W1 Asante take that. There is this notion among Ghanaians. I think on Wednesday we started talking about that. There is this notion, and my dad carries one of it. Like I'll be honest, I didn't tell anybody. Nobody in the church knew I was a part of the army for at least 1 year. It took a year or so for any. When I say any, I mean any. It was just me and my wife, and I think Stewart. He knew I was in there because I was coming for PT and all that. But apart from these guys, nobody knew. And the reason is because the connotation of someone being in army is that you have no life, you don't travel, you don't have fun. I know Sergeant is laughing, but that is the truth. I'm telling you what we have out there. You have no fun, you don't travel, you have no life. You are going in to die, you are going into like all those stuff. What can you tell us about the army with regards to these things? W1 Asante, what can you tell us about the army with regards to these things? And then if you are done and Sergeant Entry has something, he can add on to it.
Just like we talked about last Wednesday, right? The job is demanding. When you are working. But the good thing is, this is the kind of job, especially the people on active duty. Oh yeah, if you're in the reservist, you don't have to worry about these things because you have your civilian life and you can do whatever you want. So I think this question is more for the people that are active duty. And the good thing about it is every year, depending on how long you've been in service, you have 30 days of leave every year. And it's not one of those where you can say, I'm not taking leave this year. They force you to take leave. They force you to take leave. Just recently, I had to use 2 weeks of my leave time because I was forced to take it. If you don't take it, you will lose it. And they want you to go out there, take the leave so you can get a break from all this high tempo Juma you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine, just cast your mind, say, how many people can pay and take a vacation to Europe? How many people have that money? And in case you are stationed somewhere around there in Europe, in Asia, like Korea, Japan, and all those places, Hawaii, and you are forced to take this kind of leave now, you just go on a train. Or Europe, you can go to a lot of countries just by being on a train. And whoever says somewhere in the military, yes, it's demanding, it's high tempo, but there is a lot of time to also take leave.
Mm.
When you go on missions, there is time for people like Sergeant Andrew said he's going to deploy. I'm not sure where he's going to go to, but most of the time, if you end up in the Middle East somewhere, like in the UAE, they have a lot of time to see all these beautiful countries that you are being paid to look at for free. So there is time, and the government pay for all these things. Oh, Hawaii, you are in Hawaii. How many people go to Hawaii? How much is the plane ticket? The job is demanding, but you have time to enjoy life as well if you want to, unless you're somebody who doesn't like enjoying life and you like to stay in the house, and that is fine too. But the military is not going to hinder you from taking your vacations, enjoying life, and having fun.
All right, sir. I want you to add this. I have to actually use the right words for it. So, sir, the question and the last question is: there is a notion out there that if you join the military, you are going to die. Can you speak to that too? And then we have Sergeant AP also talk about this. If you join the military, it means you are going to die. You are going to handle weapons and you're going to die. So can you, in about 30 seconds, just tell us something about this?
No matter what kind of job you do, if it's your time, it's your time.
Yes.
And I want people to take the time and do a Google search, right? Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Operation Freedom.
We stayed in this battle or this war for 20 years, a little over 20 years. Search how many military personnel died during this war. How many American military personnel died during this war? And it will give you a breakdown of the people that died downrange, and the people that came back and got sick or for some sort of reason died. Look at 20 years and look at how many lives that were lost and do the math. Say, if somebody tell you, say, you join the military, you're going to die, is it true or is it not? We can go to bed today and not even get up, right? But I always tell people, say, if I join the military, I'm going to die. I know, say, when I die, the people that I leave behind are going to be taken care of. When you do a different job, how many people can say that? I just did I was just helping somebody not long ago. Yeah, Ghana, and her husband died in the military. Just not job related. He's in the military and just died. $600,000 given to these people to take care of the family. The lady also got her house or her rent paid for 24 months by the military. Ne ba owo no, because any kura wunti no, both ono and the uranium nano, or no and the nano, their education is being taken care of. How many jobs do you have that will tell you, say, and the one made my other one person, we're going to give you all these things? Not many jobs. When I talk about the military, I'm not telling you to join it, but I'm saying, say, there's so much for people that join.
Yeah.
And anybody can die, but how is it going to end up?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. All right, Sarge, can you? I saw you laughing when we talked about having a life. or having fun. Can you say something with regards to that? Because the young, I see a lot of young, the youth in here. So I would want you to speak to that specifically, and then we can move on to the next question, which is also very important.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. I had just laughed because I've been in for 5 years now, and when I first joined, my little brother, he's 14, Clinton, and so he was 9 when I joined, and he asked me as I was joining the army. He was like, "You join the army? Are you gonna kill people?" I was like, "The military has a lot of jobs. You know, there are jobs like infantry. They go do the stuff you see on the movies. You know, that's not for me. I chose a relatively safe job. I chose IT. So there is a risk factor because you join the military or the army. They say every soldier has 3 jobs: shoot, move, communicate, and then your job. But there's jobs that are relatively safe. 42 Alpha, that's HR. You're
Yeah.
doing paperwork. There's cooks, there's IT, there's logistics, there's stuff that isn't necessarily infantry or special forces. If you want to do that, that's on you. Me, I wanted to stay in the office. Yeah, IT jobs. So that's why I just found that funny. But yeah, all the things that uh Chief Sandy said are true. There's so many benefits, and the people that say you have no life, it's not true. My
Yeah.
last unit was an aviation unit, and I was in Spain, and we were riding in the helicopter on the back, just flying through the mountains of downtown Spain. They would drop us off at like 10 a.m. downtown Spain. We just go travel, be back here at 11. So I've seen a couple of different countries. And then on the reserve side, being in the military, I don't want to give all the credit to the military. I give all the credit to God. But we thank God that I was able to join the military because I was able to get a clearance. I got a couple certifications. Now on the outside, I'm doing IT, working for the Air Force as a contractor. And, you know,
Yeah, big money.
I didn't say all that.
Yeah.
But we thank God for that. But if I was on yesterday's panel, or not panel, but I joined in yesterday, and unfortunately, there's people that join the military and they don't network or make use of their resources. It's like you get what you can get out. Like if you go in, you just join, you choose a job that doesn't necessarily have a clearance, some random job, and you get out, you can't really find anything.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately, that's on you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't set you up for success, but if you get in, you ask questions. Even there's people that aren't in a technical field like in IT, but they'll switch to IT, or vice versa. There's people that are
They'll
in
just
IT,
reclass.
yeah, they'll reclass and they'll do
Yeah.
something different on the outside, whether it's healthcare or this or that. It's what you make it, and you just got to ask questions and apply yourself. Because the first question you asked, any challenges? Luckily, I didn't answer that because luckily I haven't had any challenges. Really, basic
Yeah.
training was a little rough. It was cold, but other than that, we thank God, and I thank God that it's been a pretty much of a breeze my whole military career. I'm not saying if you join, you're in the reserves,
Don't jinx it though. Don't jinx
because
it.
I
Don't
didn't
jinx
say
it.
all that, because I'm going on my first deployment. I'm going to Kuwait, but the people I've talked to about Kuwait said it's relatively safe.
Yeah, I heard it's almost becoming a station. Not it's just we are not really getting deployed there
Yeah.
anymore. Like, that's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but I think you will give us first hand information when you get there. So when it comes to the fun aspect of things and life, let me be very honest. That is because we, the Ghanaians those of us who came from Ghana, don't know how to have that kind of. We are not really outgoing and having that fun and all that. We are not really like that. It's like you telling me, let's go out here, let's do like, hey, nah, me quiet them all. I would find a place to sleep. Okay, you want to go? Don't worry, take the kid and you all can go have fun. I would find a place to sleep, and that is the reason why I believe people see it that way. But one answer to this, to the youth in here, you use Instagram a lot. Go and follow Love Asante. Just follow her on IG. Don't follow Richmond Asante. No, don't follow him. I'm not even going to look at that. Look at what she does. Just view, just look at it. I asked her, I'm like, how do you get the time for all this? And she gave me the cheat code for it. She gave me how you can have fun. You can actually go out sightseeing, you can do all that. So just follow that, and then you understand that you can have a life, or you will have a life when you are in the military. Regardless of your branch of service, you will have life. If you join the Air Force, we call them chair force. If you join the Air Force, oh goodness, that is way, I would say, it's not as tedious as you would find the army, and the army is not as tedious as you find. Is Navy even tedious? Of course, the swimming aspect of it is scary, and staying on the ship, to me personally, but it's not as tedious as the Marines. Yeah, so it goes to me personally. It goes in that order. But you can have fun if you want to have fun. You will have fun. Imagine me getting 30 days for free. What can't I do with that? Those 30 days, very, 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 very important. The next thing I would want us to look at, which is very important, and this is a free range thing. This is free range, and I would want I think Sergeant, you're married, and uh our two officers, Sir Asante and Ma'am Asante, yeah, they also married. I would want you to share this with us. How is should I say relationship and the army? How does it work? Relationship and the army, or a marriage and the military, how does it work? Like how compatible are they? Do you have enough time for your marriage, or as soon as, I mean, it falls under the category of life, but that is a whole sector, a whole branch. How is it the stress in the job? How do you manage that stress so you don't bring that home? Are you able to still have time for your spouse? Are you able to say do stuff with your spouse, go out with your spouse? How does that work? I would want um uh, um W1 Asante to take that for me. And then as you give the answer, you can segue into anything you want to talk about. From here on, we will just have it as a free range.
So it is like I keep saying, we've started talking about this last Wednesday, and everybody kind of talk about the good things, the sweet part of it, and all that stuff. But it's not always that sweet. It's not. It's not always that great, right? It comes with some sort of sacrifices, because there are times that you will probably not see your kids, not see your significant other or your spouse for a couple days, a couple weeks, a month, sometimes year if you deploy, right? Into It's something that you both have to really understand. Say, when I'm home, me will fear, me will fear. I'm not bringing my work home, and I'll have time for the kids. I'll have time for you. Um, so when you're able to do that, no, it makes things easier. When you are gone, the person knows, oh, they are gone. When they come back, they are here. Most of the time, when people cannot switch on and off the job and the family part, that is when it becomes tough. That is when they don't even want to retire. They want to stay in the job because they want that connection with their work buddies, because that's the conversation they have. The person feels more comfortable because the life never a juma. They don't talk about anything else. So you have to be able to um, switch on and off. When you go home, you are home. When you are not in the house, you are not in the house. When you're able to do that, and I think that it makes life easier, and also the benefit that comes with the service, no, ain't no, and it makes it a little bit more understanding. But luckily for the people who are more dual military, because the dual military, the people that are married to people that are in the military, they both understand how the system works, and they both know how to navigate the system. It's sometimes challenging when you're the only one serving and the other person doesn't really understand what goes on in the service. Then it becomes more challenging. And luckily for me, I don't have that challenge as most people will probably have.
Mm. All right. Sergeant Entry, do you want to add anything to this? If not, let me ask this. Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you can, if you have anything else, you can bring that in.
I've only been married for a year, so I'll leave more of the questions to our seasoned, happily married people. But
Yeah. All right. Let me ask this. I heard about the benefits in terms of traveling outside of the country on your own personal travel. What are some of the benefits you get from that as a service person? And with this, I would want Lieutenant Henry to give us an answer to talk about this. I don't know if she's on here. If she is, then you can tell us the benefits we have. Do we join the line, like a long line, when it comes to our baggage? What do we get benefits when it comes to those ones? I would want Lieutenant Henry to take that for us.
Real quick, I do have an answer for
Okay.
your question about the marriage.
Mhm.
Well, my wife actually just walked in, but there's a lot of healthcare benefits,
Mhm.
like TRICARE, and tuition assistance, like and scholarships. You know, USA, they love the military, so there's a lot of benefits and programs out there for your spouse that you can get in. I know some of y'all the citizenship aspect of that. You can bring in your, say if you have a spouse overseas or from Ghana or wherever. I'm just thinking off the top of my head right now, but for example, my wife, she's a nurse, but healthcare is a little weird. I'll just use an example. We went to the same exact dentist and we just got a regular cleaning. I paid, sorry, she's walked in. I paid $0. TRICARE covered it for free. She paid almost 1,000, and that was before. As soon as we got married, I put her on my TRICARE, and now we go to the same dentist for free. She has healthcare taken care of. Like she mentioned, if anything happens to me, 500K with the life insurance to her or my family, get to the rest of my family as well. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but there's a lot of benefits that you can just, go online, look up that are good. Not to mention, you get paid more money. Especially if you're a junior soldier, if you get BAH, and if you ever get deployed, what is it, separation pay, and there's a lot of little things. Well,
Yeah,
BAH
cool.
is basic allowance for housing. So
Mhm.
in the Northern Virginia region, it's almost 3K a month. On top of whatever your military check would be. So there's a lot of benefits that goes
Okay.
through that. And like as Sanjay mentioned, it's not always green over here. There's some things that, like, I'm not saying just join and your life will be great and all these things will happen. There's pros and cons and there's a price to pay, but you just have to weigh it and ask God and see what's best for you and your family.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is Lieutenant Henry here? Or did her phone go off again? Okay, so if her phone went out, I think Buana Santi, you can take that for us. Let's look at traveling back home, traveling to Ghana. How easy it is to travel to Ghana as a soldier, and also what are some of the perks we get from that? I know we have some lounges, USO lounges around for, say your flight has delayed or something, you can lounge out there. You have some snacks you can get. But apart from that, do we have any other benefits for the military? I'm asking this so anybody who wants to join will have an idea. May join. I mean to me Ghana, mean to me. How true is that? And as I may call Ghana, so I first all bank pan, I mean free. So me what I mean, if I saw ben, I mean free.
All right. So, like we keep talking about benefit and all that stuff. Yes, there's a lot of benefits. Some some of it I don't even know about. Some you keep hearing about it every day. The first one is when you get to the airport, you see a lot of people in line trying to get in and all that stuff. With the military service and the military ID, if you plan right and you go online and do all your homework, you get TSA pre-check. TSA pre-check now usually it costs money, but with the military, sometimes you're able to get it for free if you're able to know how to do it and do it right. I think that it costs between $200 and $300 a year if you are on the TSA pre-check, which precludes you from staying in the long line. You just go around. Into do report on some fun differently no more. They pay for it or they are serving, right? That is one of the perks that comes with traveling. Also, the baggage, and depending on the airline you're flying with, especially Delta, will be £50. No, if you go over, they usually don't really give you that much problem. Say, why are you going over it? If you can tell them, hey, I'm traveling, I'm military and stuff like that, you can get away with it, and you don't have to pay the extra baggage. There's also some credit cards out there that comes with annual fee. Let's say American Express, the platinum card or the gold card, right? Annual fee is about $700. being in the military, you get it for free. And when you get it for free and you're traveling or extra bag, you tell them the airline you're traveling with. Instead of you paying the $200 for the extra bag, you pay with that credit card, and then right away they will give you your money back. You can stay in a hotel for $200. They will pay you that money back. Also, when you at the airport or train connected flight, and as you're just waiting for your flight, you can go to the USO, which will give you food, snacks, and all that stuff. But the American Express card also comes to the American Express lounges. Yeah, you have their app on your phone. You can find different lounges that is over there. I know most people travel to Ghana a lot. Udru Kotaka Porta, they have at least 2 or 3 lounges that American Express card qualifies you to go there and eat for free, and then sit there and wait. And the ones that will be military or travel and I said or to lounge for more pictures. It's because they got in there for free, and everybody can get in there. Because these celebrities, that's where they hang out. And we go there, we sit there. I think the last time I traveled, I was in Ghana, and I met Akon in in one of the you're kind of saying lounges while I was sitting there eating. And I was like, hey, let me take a picture. And he's like, there, go ahead. So there's so many benefits that comes with it. But when somebody is jumping, I would like to talk more about the pay and the benefit and the TSP and all that stuff, and how it can actually set you up for life. Susie Busa question said, I did not read the entire question because I was talking. I think it's about marriage, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's asking, say, what is a marriage will now collapse, especially if deployment comes into the picture. Most of the women at home cheat on their husbands. How true is that?
It is like many entry said, no, it is not always that sweet and nice. There's a lot of downside that comes with it, but there's sacrifice that you have to make. Like I said, you have to be able to switch on and switch off family life and the military life. Most of these people, it's not just the military. I had the same when I was a police officer. These law enforcement jobs, takes you away from your family a lot of times. And if you don't do it right, you will lose your family. I remember when I was a police officer, I was leaving the job, and my reason was for family. And my supervisor told me, say, yes, if it's only for your family, then you're doing the right thing, because you don't want to dwell so much on the job. And by the time you retire, you have nobody to call family because you don't have time. You don't have time for them. Yes, the military takes away a lot from the family. So if you're not able to give them the time that they need when you're around, and you're still on the phone talking military talk, you're still doing all the things that you're not supposed to do, then you're definitely going to have a problem with your marriage. It is a thing. If you look it up online, most military marriages collapse. I'm here with a guy at Alabama. When we got here, he was married. We are about to leave. He's divorced. I was talking to one other guy today. He's going through the same thing, right? And so you have to be able to know how to go about all these things.
Yeah.
Yes, it is real. It will happen to you.
Yeah, that is a bit sad to hear, and I've heard a whole lot about this marriage and divorce issue. But I think as Christians, as we are Seventh Day Adventists who have been trained in the Lord, I would say that that should be a thing that is far from us. And also the kind of job this is, I would say, protects the spouse, because if you go and cheat and your spouse reports you, I think there are some articles that can go at the UCMJ, action can be taken against you for infidelity. So I think that protects the spouse. And for the soldier in there, the protection we have, once again, I would say is just God. It's just God. If you don't have a godly person in your life, then that becomes a problem. And then again, it goes for every kind of job. If your wife will cheat, she'll cheat. If your husband will cheat, they'll cheat, regardless of what job they are in. Like the example you gave us, Auntie, on Wednesday, talking about Walmart and track and all that. For instance, if you're working overnight and your wife is cheating or your husband is cheating, how will you know? How many of us have cameras at home? You wouldn't even know. Like you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't know. So it goes always. It goes both ways and always. So yeah, that's that. I think there's another hand that is up.
Yeah, thank you. This is a insight I'm giving to all the service members currently. If you have a credit card, there's a program called SICRAT, which is Service Member Will Leave Civil Act. Your APR on your credit card shouldn't go beyond or above 6% if you are a service member and you have a credit card. All that you got to do is call your credit card company, call them and let them know that you are a service member. All that they need is proof. Either you take a picture of your car card and send it to them, or provide your latest orders. Maybe you are getting deployed, or your latest orders to your duty station, or latest orders to activate you into active, special from reservist and the National Guard. This secret is something that is very, very helpful. So take note of that. Just call your credit card company, and let them know that you are a service member, and they will reduce your APR all the way to 6%. It shouldn't go beyond 6%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information. Now, Cadet Ejekum, I would want you to give an answer to this, and then we let W1 Asante take us through this the things he spoke about concerning the TSP and all that. So we heard about different ranks, right? Yeah. And so for you being in the ROTC, I know the rank we have is cadet, but when it comes to the pay scale, where do they place you? And I know you are getting paid on the skill that the reservists and the guards are getting paid at. But what rank or what skill do they pay you at?
So at least when it comes to being a cadet in college, they rank you as a sergeant. You know, that just on your CAT card, it just says sergeant. You're able to go to any facility, any DoD office as a sergeant, and then you get paid a monthly stipend as a 420. It might be 450 now. I think they just raised it, but you get a monthly stipend of 450, along with possibly tuition assistance if you're signed up for that program and some other things. So those are two main things that you get. So it's the rank as a sergeant after your contract, and then you get a monthly stipend of 450 in the RTC. That being said, after you do your RTC program and you become a lieutenant, if you go active, and then if you go National Guard Reserve, the pay increases from then on.
Yeah.
But
So,
you get a
so in other words, you're getting paid to take classes and just work out.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, so you still get paid. You can still get paid. You can have your full-time job on top of the stipend that you receive from RTC, and then any other thing. So you're making more money coming in.
All right, so this is targeted at our youth who are in here. I would say, in my experience, I mean, we are both in the same program, but I made ensure to join the guard also because of the extra money I get on that side too. So you get that and you get this, so double dipping, and all you do is like Specialist Akko said, 1 weekend a month. But the only catch in here, which I believe is very important to me, is that you cannot get deployed until you are done with school. You cannot get deployed unless, of course, there's drafting where you have to be drafted. Like there's a large scale war and they need to be drafted. But in this current era, I don't think they're going to draft to that point where they have to activate cadets to go out. So if you want to go into school whilst in the military, I would say that's good. You can do it. Just do it. But look also on the side of going in as either a reservist, a guard, and still going for ROTC. It doesn't hurt to go for ROTC. Instead of you going out to pay Planet Fitness or any of these gyms to work out, you are getting paid to work out. You're getting paid to work out. Oh, Sergeant, you can go, Sergeant.
I'm biased in this opinion, but I chose reserve for those that are considering to join on the part-time. They call us weekend warriors, but they just max, so we get all the benefits without having to be active. But so just joking. I chose reserve instead of guard just because when I was doing a little bit of research talking to people, if you're a National Guardist, say for Virginia, or look at DC, your state or your DC city, whatever, your state can call you in the event of a natural disaster. Like if there's a hurricane, if there's a riot, look at DC. Trump called them to just walk around and, help be in the police force. So take that into consideration. While there is more benefits, usually National Guard has a little bit more money, a little bit more of a higher like initial bonus. That's just something to consider as well. That you could be minding your own business, and then hey, if there's a wildfire, hurricane, protest, they could call you up to help out the next day. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right.
And
Thank
go
you
Air
for that
Force.
input.
Go Air Force. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, thank you for that input. I did say W1 Asante will come in, but I want to ask A1C Jamira. I just want to ask you this question. I don't know if you're still on. What informed your opinion to go Air Force instead of say Army or the Navy? What informed your opinion? And then from there we can have Asante take over. Is A1C Jamira on here? Okay,
Yes.
so
Okay.
all right, yeah.
So I let's see, how do I phrase this?
Anyhow
Okay.
you phrase it, we'll take it. Okay, the other candidate,
Okay, so joining in the what was on my mind was basically my education, and with going in with all of the other branches, I know every military branch will encourage you to get your education, but the Air Force haps on it much more. I think, in my opinion, they try to get you into as much courses as you like, and then with everything that you do from basic until test school until your actual duty station, they give you certificates and college credits and stuff like that. So after talking with the recruiter and like learning about that, since education was important to me, and I found out about that, I was like, that would be the best for me with what I was going for. So yeah.
mm. Okay. Okay, mum dear, send a sergeant if you can, means me a bias crack, and like I say, I'm in a stressful education, so more money. Air Force for the you out to Musa, we'll take it like that. All right, sir, you can take over and then you can talk about those benefits you were talking about, the TSP and then all those other stuff.
So let me start from where you both ended, right? You get college credit for every school you go to in the military. From your basic training to the Army, we call it AIT, and the Air Force call it tech school, and Navy call it something else. Every school that you go to in the military can be translated into college credits. And when you do that, there's something called JST, Joint Service Transcript. You pull that, you send it to your school, they'll give you the credit for it, and then you take the rest of the classes that you have. Wait me, I take a 2-week class, 2 weeks or probably less class, and we'll give you a whole 6 credits or 3 credits. That is also saving you money on college. So when it comes to some of the, because then usually is but sikanin enya, you will not do it. You go look for something else, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I talk about money a lot, and it's not something that I take lightly, because I know that once we start planning early, that is how you accumulate wealth, right? And there's so much benefit in the military that helps you save money. Some banks will give you low interest rate. Some bank will give you loan with different interest rate a year lower. But one thing that I like is there's something called, and I think Sergeant Entry talked about it, the BH. When you go to file your taxes at the end of the year, so you're a civilian employee, if you make 100,000, 80,000, you are paying $80,000 no, and now we also taxes, right? You paying taxes on the money that you made for the year. But when it comes to the military, the money that you make, the BAH is deducted from that. Like when I was working at Fort Belvoir, my BAH was a little bit higher. I said the entry kind because of my rank, it was a little higher. Into a company, my making goes higher than most people that work the civilian job. But when I go to file my taxes at the end of the year, the only money I'm paying taxes on was about $40,000 or $50,000. Meanwhile, I made way more than that, but I'm paying cheaper on taxes because of the benefit that the military says that you cannot tax the basic housing allowance. It will be a E7, E8, which is a higher rank. No yet more this year. They are making close to $4,000 a month on the BH. Multiply that by 12 months, which is probably going to give you like 48,000 or something like that. All that is free. You are own transfer tax, but you are going to pay taxes on whatever you make. So, we'll set up a Roth IRA. As a civilian, you can only put in $7,000, I believe $7,500 a year as a civilian. But being in the military, you are able to put as much as $23,500 a year. Just look at the difference, about 3 times what a civilian can put in. Starting next year, it goes to $24,500. Every year they increase it. Into the more money you start putting away now, the more money you will make. If you go online and search, there are so many military personnel that take this TSP very serious that are becoming millionaires when they retire. The more you invest, the more you will make. Until let's imagine, say, your son or your daughter. Some of us who started this game late. If your son or daughter gets in early, right after high school or college, and they start contributing, let's say $200 a month until they retire or whatever, they are going to have millions in their account. And these are some of the things that when I talk to the people that want to join the military, I tell them, don't just look at what you can get, look at what you can also put in. Because that is what's going to make you financially free when you retire. You spend 20 years in the military, and then now you qualify for retirement for the rest of your life. You have the TSP that is probably close to $1 million or close to like $600,000. You have disability. You have disability. That doesn't mean so we put up man, also you can't do anything. Or now you get money for just saying so now you what you say you get money for just saying so what you. And the more percentage you get for your disability, it takes away some of the taxes that you have to pay to the state and to the federal government. If I say I want to keep talking about this, you probably won't end. I know most people have questions. So it'll be a personal question that they can call me. I will be able to answer those questions for them. But I know there are people on the line that have questions that would like to ask. And I will just end it and hopefully we can give some education.
Yes, that's a part. Rebecca say but be on a Friday, it's about school. We sometimes go all the way deep into it, especially when the studies demand it. Now, in Yama discussing, so it demands that we open the floor for questions to come in. Currently, we have the Navy on here, we have the Air Force, and we have the Army on the Army for the door so Army, we carry the day wherever we go. So if you have any question will be no a kind that also baby sir, especially since we have this knowledgeable people in here. Question if you have any kind of question, if you're now to be in Kasanswa, you can send that in the chat and then I'll read it out. If any question you have, the floor is open. You can unmute and ask that question. Okay, let me see if there's any question in the chat. Oh, there is no question in the chat.
Okay, so I did Mimusa and Kra question back. The question is Usha ye Ghana say we so near advantage kakra when say ye police for na omni police for ntemu ye wine pa into police krachi we wutimi job. When Busa say has say no so no send a military ne police no one more enter with DNCT say be a police crash stop no who say we so near war some credit bi anaasɛ ɛne deɛ ɔmo ɛmfa mo nyɛ hwee menim nkora question by mo betumi aboa yɛ ne anka bɛboa.
Anybody has an experience with this or not? You know, the mini
I have no
experience.
experience. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have a little bit as well.
No big.
All right.
Okay.
I'll
Finish it. Okay. Yeah. I had an experience. I think that 2012. Now I was rushing to go to work, and I get pulled over by one of the police people, and he said, "I know that I was going over the speed limit." I said, "Yes, I know," but they just called me. But based now, I'm a one. Kronisha, Junction City, going to Fort Riley. So they said my supervisor called me that I need to report to the base. That's why I was running. He said, "No, that is not excuse." He gave me, I think, 400 tickets. 400 tickets. Yes. One thing that we need to know is that little cities, your war military installation. That's where they make their money from. They make their money from the military personnel. Friday, it becomes their winning day for them, because a lot of these young soldiers will go out there to drink and drive and do a whole lot of stuff out there, and that's where they get they issue a lot of citations to them, because that little cities make a lot of money. So in America here, the soldiers and the police, they expect you to obey the law, do the right thing, don't get into troubles, don't do anything that will get you behind the bar. So that's the little experience I can share for now.
Okay, yo, a commission or kakra bi kaka ho.
Okay.
And you okay me that's it. A job being what be sa question. And now Elijah Kano. Mbra Ghana ye bu mbra so we just like I don't know. Because and then some mbra wo home na kase akroma ha we yan hwan you can be who police in stop you have to sit in your car. Ghana police in stop all do kwanhwe police in kwanhwe ko bobo na so because the mbra nye dwuma Ghana. That is one thing. And so the no one buying. That is what is it. I quite remember because a quiet sport or a mammy and very brief. I will takradi. Na ya bano. Na me so Cape Coast because one man some few days off. Into me the uniform na di na no. I will mention. Into me bano. Na me for me and my classmate no driver from Cape Coast to Kumasi. Into me backpack na mentally na no uniform na my packing na me say civil dress. Ade ba kwa manye bi ana mempa no so be show uniform de pie to kwan. Nti me bedu Kumasi a friend saying anyan kwanta street in that kwana da hode ko Cape Coast no. Checkpoint ho no. You do checkpoint the car ni see I hwe police ni bi na epoi. O se chara wote. No se your friend say uniform no se chara wote kan obogu aban obedu ha whatever or car driver no me can say hey man fashion farmer no and me see from na me say mufti na me say hey is it proper dressing you are improper dressing and you are come to do what into me tone no one said no papa okay say nobody can check me this man is something and me man ne call san question ne pabo buy but oba na pabo na nye into me boot na e wo me nchen no na me yi me bag no mu waka na chi no 207 na me yi there je na me de man no be sa me din wo ma be some a few me wadwuma me hwa na taxi bi na bedru obedu ya ono board ne no keka opo na do the break because of boot na me de man enti mra aye dwuma you will not kasa ban enti question will be san aye good ye ndi mra so Ghana obi a person ye no pa bia anu enti na kofa we na banti mo damasi.
That's a pa. Yeah, that's a pa. Sergeant Ben.
And with that being said, no, it is I've been on both sides. I've been a police officer and a military personnel currently. It all depends on the location and the offense, right? I've put so many people over that were in the military and other law enforcement. That is just a courtesy, right? Nipana run it, let's say a stop sign. Traffic wasn't busy. He just wasn't paying attention. You give them a break. But there are some things that you cannot give a break. Yes, there's these law enforcement agencies and military, we accord each other respect and courtesy, but it have to be something that they can do. Like I have a ticket before in Hopewell or Richmond. Like Ledger was saying, it's a smaller city. That's how they make their money. I had to go to court. It was reckless driving. I paid like almost $500.
Mm.
And the offense and the location also sometimes determine what they are going to do.
Wow. Really, one of our cadets, pulling over, not all speedy. He was running late to first formation. It's no speedy. Say straight 90, 95 is no pulling. Na okoba by na ordin the comp report by or say pulling na on be an ID. Na say every day sana me Miami the ufam work na gas me idea. Me military ID no top and so me driver's license what down. It did the same thing also yeah. Oh yeah no and no man was I'm sorry, that's not what I need. I need the let me give you the driver's license. No so wait. Obviously so military man I say I say yeah, I didn't know speed. When so speedy, I see oh yeah, way past so speedy. I'm so call is it 12 over or say 15 over? And I say yeah, or he's running late for first formation now. The previous day was very hectic and he overslept into or running late. And all the cop told him was he should be careful. He's now coming up. So he didn't come out crime. I know who's joining NCHA. So he should be very careful. He's now coming up, and if he wants to enforce law outside of the country, then he has to make sure he's obeying laws within the country. He gave him a break. Of course, he gave him a break, but not without chastising him. Or chastising man who say, yeah, he's not supposed to do something like that. Nti all them say, question I'll be saying, whom why na mpanyinfo yi de ama we. Meaning so being so what question for person be sir.
So I have something to add real quick. So
Okay.
I didn't know about this. I just recently found out. So this is just knowledge to put in your pocket. So if you're military and you ever get in trouble, like DUI, ticket, all that good stuff, right? Every state, and you can Google this, every state has something called a veterans docket, right? Make sure if you get in trouble, Google that for it's basically like a court that they have within the court system for veterans when you get in trouble that you not if you qualify for it, you don't get to deal with the full consequence of the law. So they kind of give you like an alternative that of things that you can do to kind of help you either drop your charges, amend your charges, or lower your charges. So if you ever get in trouble on with the civilian side of things, and well, hopefully you didn't kill anyone. If it's something minor like a misdemeanor or something like that, definitely Google veterans docket. Every state has it, and try that route first before anything else. I just want to throw that out there because a lot of people don't know about it. I didn't even know about it. I just recently found out about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, is there any question again? So question via a new I would like to take.
Ako,
Oh yeah.
Ako Pacho, made in question, but the contribution, any that, the yen, other a duchum, obisa question there, abedintina. Veterans no bebree na wokɔ fie a na wɔn gya kwan ho na that sort of wɔmayɛ wretched anaasɛ biribi there based on asante ne ɛyɛ ɔkama afa mu aba kakra na mahu dɛ kyɛ dɛ all is about planning and getting yourself ready anaasɛ try to save something which will help you after wo sogyani no wakɔ fie based on the ɔka nyinaa it's true so for very beginning no obiara tumi yɛ dɛm adeɛ a anaasɛ ɔtum yɛ dɛm no a at the end of next service in the military net it's true because I've observed it say edu too much okay but who been so on so veteran retired this but he or she is riding on a luxury car so how do they made it and not there or you no there Masante Kenano, when you follow it, and I say, a damn kind of you follow all whatever he's saying. And so, Baba out, you come out successful, and then you enjoy your retirement. And you know, and yeah, the I am kokra, yin, it is damn not that what Sabio, many anoma musum womb, musum more, but because America, hano, benefiting is more than ye room. Wouldn't cry a pajakan. More kokra no is unfailable within 3 months or 6 months. Obaka just say, oh, it's been forfeited. And you know, my mom had a kakram some the mama say, Mama modern, now take advantage on this. And mama says, Sabi, no kofia, and AJ about from Nazis Obiera, no atono. Thank you, Madam.
All right, thank you very much. I'm saying, wait, okay, Elijah and Edichu Minim Nipan is okay, hands have been lowered.
We there yeah caution be any advice the ma special or more part-time soldiers no, especially reservists and the National Guard and yeah all the guards and the reservists. No. You can retire after 20 years, which is good. But to get your retirement benefit, you have to attain the age of 60 before you'll be fair receive says scanner. And they say, who decided say you going reservist route to get your retirement? Great. After 20 years in service, you retire, you get issued with your DD 214. But to start receiving your retirement benefit, I just want you to 60 years. Unlike active duty, you serve your 20 years, you retire, and then boom, you get your 50% of your highest paycheck. The last 36 months of your highest paycheck, you get 50% of it right there. So we advise Edema, and mom reserve and they God say more person more in career there. Our advice is we a full-time soldier. So be bien su kwan up so in career. That's the problem.
Yeah, it does a pay. I'm saying in the last evening, and Ochinano by 11:20. By 11:20 now, yeah, the Jumedi now baby by 11:20 near the Jumedi now baby. There will be some changes in the order of service, and my name yet will be and we'll be confused. We have to just follow with our heart and pray alongside the program that is happening. Before we can close this program, no, I would ask, say, any military personnel or what have you, will give us 2 minutes or at most 3 minutes of advice to people who are not in the military but who are looking at joining, and people who have a different or a negative conception about the military. I would want you to make this or turn this into your community. Navy Awahano, please give us that advice in terms of the Navy. If someone wants to join, what should they look out for? What is the advice you are giving them? And if someone is thinking about joining but doesn't really know because of the things that has been said, the negative things that have been said, what will you say to them? What will you tell them? So I'll start with specialist Akon. I'll start with a specialist, and then from there we'll go to Cadet Ejekum, and then from there we'll draw from there. So specialist, do you have any advice for us? Okay, so specialist Enye Redia, Cadet Ejekum, any advice you have for our younger folks or anybody who is looking at joining, say ROTC, since that is where you are, what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, so I won't take too long, but I'll just give something quick and short and brief. At least for some advice when it comes to just navigating through RTC and the service as a whole. Just the main thing, just being resilient and also having a plan. Like the other service members have said, the main thing is having a plan. Like know what you want to go in for. Like if you want to go in for infantry, that's okay, but at least have a plan as to how you're going to accomplish that and how many years you want to do and all that. At least for me, I'm going in as a signal officer, so the key is to get the TS clearance and kind of just build up from there. And there's also another thing is being resilient. So like they always say, it's not always peaches and creams. It's not always easy doing these things. It's a lot of long hours and time, and you have to put in hours to get what you want. Being an RTC, you know, you probably have things with school, at home, with work, along with the amount of hours and time you have to put into for classes and training and labs. But it's all achievable if you understand why you're there and you have the resilience to do it. Like as for the notion that everybody says, like when people are like kind of afraid, there's so many different jobs that you can do in the military. You also get paid. But the main thing is just being able to plan what you want to do and stick to it. You know, not everything will go as planned, but if you have those around you who are like-minded and you know what you want to do, everything should work out for that matter.
Okay.
And then all things, always pray for what you want. Always keep God at home in all things. So yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those kind words. All right. So we'll have the Air Force also give us their take on this. So A1C Jamra, do you what are your final and closing words for people who would want to join or thinking about joining, and people who have the negative mindset about the military? In terms of the Air Force, what advice will you give them? Okay, as she's trying to unmute or fix her technical issue, Nicole said, "Oh, aha, also advice being our the bema, yemi anuma, mombe person joining military. Advice being our the mao. Any one more I dream for free before military. No, what advice do you have for them?"
For me advice am the bema on a person mo join the military no. Momo mfa bibia nshow mu chirim say military ni oko join ya you hear so be prepare your mind. O prepare your mind ya said the Ghana city no. Obi a otimi tena Ghana core school bia was high school bia betimi join military. Ko ye ka said that no ada. Sorry no sorry udimra so bibia obetimi I overcome the successful. But say bia we obi a waso odin ye kasa ye ma orders ya mpesa ode orders be ye adwuma de anie wani nye ba ye ka time say muna time say won sorry before time we are free to go na bibia so ye man paibo any ye nim kan because me say mra me wo basic training na your first time on range me say oi etu me so tu mu da etu amaso mu ye pump action na say ye de sa M4 bi a hye me nsem me dato the first shot to America to na semi no akoto semi ne
Order.
automatic ni ntem me first trigger boom, na bullet ni nyina asa wa ye be pidia me si nchen ye di me si nchen na me dwendwene me si na dia na me tu ya koye tiboni en fantu bata na me bomb fire rade wona anim de entia bibi say yesi na ya mama ntutu no sad day no na mom ne following day no na me say rade na de me komisrew wa di man na mo kana etu ya me kwa akoto mi ntimi group fast animonyam kanya me say empire keto ya me boy first group me na me dikai na me group we na me free ya me graduate so na me a sharp shooter nti ameni de hia ne say oba prepare your mind now de awuram ebi mu okwa na ebi mu bo hu na wo na aba be kwa ma country yemfa nto yetim say aminos ye another word adwuma bi e wo civilian word yi mu no ebi wa aminim yero hu ne su ade ne kokko pass was bab bibia be successful ama ye nyina nyame nhyira ye nyina.
Amen. 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 Lieutenant Hene Owaha. Lieutenant Hene Owaha, and still away, and fixing we. Yeah, just final words.
Mpampo kakra me so me ka ho ne say the brain na yaka say way so person join it military na when say wona person join nti say utie anase bia obi wo mo afre ne busa na advice utia na ohwe na se ene de wo hwehwe no eye pa na what they show trim say bibia ni ho a efo se efo anko bi ayi bi enti yese eden na eden na eden hwe nipa dodo e wo military nim enti wo na wasa wo ma edi show trim say ade a wo pese wo ye ni na wo be work towards it bibia menyi ni say wo yete ho no kwa no wo ntimi so nkotena adwuma bia mu say wo te ho o peska na ye de amount you have to be determined enti fa wa ho odin shem said the Nicholas kan ye no ye call school e wo Ghana nti watimi akwa e just discipline yes sorry for what sorry there was so ye a good place to establish yourself up discipline na baby a obetimi so aye de afa enti so wani je ho na wo pese wo kwa busem said the ya kana na otwi nyina no ye nkrofo mu wom at least sorry ye obia branch bia ye obi owum busa uti bibia se a na ye nkyerɛ mu anaasɛ ye kora ne bibia na enim ye betimi abusa na ye de aboa but ade a wopɛ sɛ wo do ho behyɛ mu anaasɛ wopɛ sɛ oye bia ɛbɛboa wo na wo na ankasa na wopɛ sɛ oba no ye wo research ne hu ne sɛ bibia na fam enti wo ba no emfa nhyɛ otim sɛ wobɛpɛ no fofofo enti wo so de wobetimi ayɛ na de ayɛ aboa na bibia akɔbɔkɔ sɛ de ya di kan aka no that's it.
All right, yeah, that's a pie. Now, what if I wake up my what should we expect if we want to join the Navy? Now, the end fancy too. Answer yaba.
Oh, okay. Kakra meeting ya can say, so person joining Navy now. First of all, so the can training no baby, but one thing with the Navy, so the Navy soon to say, person joining also show to say you have to pass. There is a swim test that you have to pass. Into aside the physical aspects, now will be a be no, be couldn't the car, obey your planks, push-ups, and the animal. You have to pass the swim test. So one pass here, you can pass the friend say training not altogether because no pan you evaluate you. You have to be able to jump the 10 feet tower into the pool. You have to be able to float. You have to be able to swim. You have to be able to pull yourself out with the float jacket and any other. And to say Navy now person ba na unim so mu dware say me ana me kono me nim dware na say COVID be any ho quarantine be any ho. Say no na person yeah, make sure at least you know the basics and sana wako said the be ya be ma training no I had that now could put too much pressure on you because say here not to pass and that's went me and pass here obeche wo training ground to ho and the be ma unyama bebre aye de akechi enti no now see tipi na America no do your research and see what you need and sana why de why just so be joining if you need the swim to pass now when him swim yeah for swim classes kakra and sana wa start to say obey day call a training. That's one thing I make us say dia opese oba navia unim hwe kra know how to swim. That's it.
Thank you very much. Say, Uncle would at the media by intina you say go into this session. No, now I remember Elijah also do the other Elijah. My say, oh yeah, can send run the until ranker now. Wow, the free. I mean, remember say Uncle Buddy on my who said not or your sergeant. Now one my who rank out with me, so I got rank out the free. Now what the advice am I? And for you, the audience are very special. I want you to give an advice to joining, and then the second piece of advice to yeni a yewuma yenya or studies or higher studies with yenya, you know. Mess all the advices will be mine.
Okay, can make us a video no. All right, that was it. Yo,
Yeah,
yeah, me FIMO as a sergeant E5.
oh, yeah. I'm okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
8 years and some change, some months
Yes, yeah.
change. You feel, yeah. And yeah, me pen as me do film, but sign never buy. I have no. Okay, me fight yeah, but yes, it David. Yeah, I say oh, to me could do one thing. Go ahead, yeah, quiet. All right. Yeah, TB this week we've heard a lot about this service. Now, sometimes we talk about ultimate sacrifice, and then people, it scares a lot of people. Say, oh, because of this, I don't want to join. The decision is yours. So, person join near the can be determined. Now you focus. na o focus no a wo de join no no na ebo na push you further. Me join ye no me first 3.5 years no na me skeptical kakra. I get to a point I me say me ye they only gave me na was a recommendation letter me recommendation letter fee generals near that you know mommy days be na me make a decision. They only gave me 7 days to make a decision. My master can say crown when I'm realistic. If you are then maybe be in depth with it. And the time no cry my so my real estate. And my so cry me window be a my real estate. Me window be a my real estate. Until say time so say me Bradford Bewa. And ti obi biara o pesa o join. And don't hesitate. Time and tide wait for no man. Ghana yeah be baako pa no. Nti bibi biara you want to do it right now with your full determination and move along with it. And we service member now. When we talk of veterans, service member now, it's not so woman we don't listen to veterans. You nimbi be alpha veterans until say you are getting ready to ETS, separation or retired. Then they bring in, sit you down, and then tell you what you are expecting. A BT me first time na me make a decision. Until me call tab a year transition assistant program no. Na me say me year didn't because my share meba asan ko square one. And the mommy is seeking further instructions from generals near you for me esan year. Inti ube free veterans no a big hole. Esopa provide all the support to be a veterans here no they provide for them. Omunti in a veterans no. Yeah, a whole department on this one. Now ufi uba veterans now honey there no ranks be no baby you need rank be you na a veteran nti o paperwork everything no just keep it the way they want you to keep it na say anything be o claim be no just give them a call one kasa be guide o ade ba go make dey twa to and say veteran for ni believe we say at the age of 17, I was signing up a joining military. To make up 4 miles. The military active duty, and thinking about 4 miles, near ever happen to you. Mekana utu your 4 miles ever happen to you in the years to come. But this is where veterans comes in. Say, Sakurano nyas or at the age of 17, to make up 4 miles. A bro benya 60 years no sa mekano to never affecting ni and then as for intene sadia ye money ratings be a bemana benefit e was a mekano to year. That's where the veterans come in. The veterans fight my military for. It is a who feel now who fire claim everything goes through the process and the veteran will give you the ratings and the ratings in the big national. I'm a one who say this is what you are going to receive, this benefit you are going to receive. Now, all right. Also, report to your medical. Please, report. Because Sabrina who many you not take care. Maybe it's a veteran record just program with us.
Thank you very much for all the advice you've given. Meaning if specialist Akon is available now.
Hello.
Yes, a specialist Akon you available. Specialist Akon, are you available now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So we want your input too. Final words to anybody will be a person joining and now say, hey, will be a person joining. No, and I will be so a person joining. So now joining Tanta based on a negative biawati. What advice do you give to these people? Especially will be school Ghana. What advice do you have for them?
Okay, so joining India. I can make anka obia and yes, I hope so we active we just sign up nanka ye just National Guard keke. Would they just because I know they it doesn't take much from you. They take here with training time no. Uba baka they are you just go back doing the same thing. I said that BBNs, So when you get that experience, and then remember what you are seeing, whether you should take a committed input and answer, you should just maybe stay on maybe being a National Guard and as a reserve. Because truth be told, benefit a woman it doesn't come physical money in hand, Just say, oh, say, yen bebre no, ya wo sika ye
Cash at
in
hand.
hand, cash in hand, and in here, but if you think so much, now what the calculator to benefit now, what minimum now reverse no in monetary factors just say astronaut ejuma cramba because healthcare bebree or maka healthcare asem ni na no wo hwɛ sika a wotua for healthcare say even war reserve and national guard kakra na it's funny say wo property taxes in nneɛma bebree a obi a ɔwɔ military no mu benefit no and yeah no ne obi a ɔwɔ outside the world because wo the general civilian side whatever work you do, no, sika bani na just for you to spend on all your utilities and everything that matters to you. But military, it takes care of everything. Into one gas also can one show you the only thing you use it to do is to maybe support your family and do certain petty things. But a fun one gas school or person or most on betia. We do any will be decrying almost on betia. Bibi a wobɛda so a ɔmo sɛ ɔmbɛma wo sika de atɔ dan nti then na wodi wo sika ne kɔ akɔyɛ. So the military is something that if you don't have much going on in your life, just give it a try. And yeah, there also wo ha ho dwen ho bisa questions bebree. I mean, just give it a try, and then it's not going to lead you astray at all. And I almost sign what other benefit. I mean, say bimu kan ho asema. So we join in National Guard, depending on MOS Albania, no, they give you some certain status. A bit say security clearance. You can get a top secret clearance. Ejuma bebree or US they require those type of clearances. So we no na even we need much knowledge. They pick you and train you because clearance ne bono on the public sector
Yeah.
and Ukrainian some ketwa. So these are all benefits. You don't see them in monetary factors, but then with your compensation wise, I will be near so join here. We need na account. Imagine say what join our top secret clearance. Now ya for intelligence agency. It is a lot of compensation you are gaining from there. And if you are in high school, if you are done with college or anything, just pick up a recruiter's number, go there, tell them I don't know much about the military, but I just want to sign up for a National Guard. Okay. So if you have idea about what you want to do, then you can tell them, okay, I want to do active duty in the Air Force, in the Marines, in the Navy, whichever branch you want. But then if you don't know much, just say, I just want to do National Guard for now. And then whilst you are doing it, you have sergeants there, you have lieutenants and everybody there to advise you and give you a top-notch understanding of what you want to do. My current situation, no, I'm in the National Guard, which I'm in the reserve compartment, which I'm more ideas of what to even do in the next 10 years, whether to do this with my life, to go to active duty. No, me who say even options are me joining reserve now. I'm in now, whichever way I go, Biano, it's gonna be okay for me. But as a man joining, you are limited to certain options, which you are not even sure. Say when you pick them, is going to help you in your future. Into joining the military, they're like to me, Kakaminko, their first novel say a mandatory ma obi or high school. We are near the way room. Now we national and just National Guard. What if you once a month now we call drill. Now waba. That way before we college. And I will call National Guard number crack say Oba Pasika Honatono. O ma misika Honton because and yeah, Sasika ye di baby to your fees na more tuition assistance or ho and a GI bill ni now nti wanga so be wie ne na wasan advice ho National Guard no years ne be so 4 years no was say wie school na waka say okay me wie school ne me nko commissioner's officer and okay me nyak top secret clearance me nko ye djuma ma Department of Defense and me nko ye say nti wo say ho no amma a lot of opportunities nka what normal classroom na wo go school anka unya those ideas For the military, then my final advice is say, "Obia money ban joining." I mean, it is up to them if they like it. But then, a advice: if you want to, don't think about it. Just do it real quick. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that piece of advice. Um, I would say Sergeant Entry, if I would want to take your final words. And
Yeah,
as I would want you to target, I mean, uh, we're all diverse people in here. So based on your experience and your understanding, growing up in this country, friendship wise, kind of friends you had growing up, and I wanted to give a general advice to the youth on here. To the youth on here, general advice concerning their choices. That is choosing either to join the military or not. I needed to give a general advice on that. Right after you're done with that, we'll take A1C Jamira. Jamira will take her piece of advice too. All right, Sergeant, you have the floor.
All right, I'll try to be quick. First and foremost, seek godly counsel, seek wisdom. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." So, yeah, pray, and seek godly counsel. Ask your church leadership. And as far as military, ask as many people as you can. Because if you ask 10 different people, they'll give you 10 different answers. I'm in the Army, I'm biased, but I've been working as a contractor on the Air Force side for about 3 years now for this current job. And they got it easy. It's the reason they call them the Chair Force. But like I said, you ask 10 different people, they'll give you 10 different answers. Whether you want to go reserve, guard, or like part-time or full-time. I have a coworker, went in at 17, he's 38 now. He gets retirement pay, 100% disability pay. And when you get 100% disability, you don't have to pay property taxes either for your home or your car for life. And 100% disability, if I remember correctly, it's about like $4,000 tax free a month for the rest of your life. $3,000 a week for the rest of your life, not to mention this other stuff. And he has this job. So there's a lot of different benefits on that. If you're thinking about going in, study for your ASVAB. Don't just go there and take it, because the better your score, the more jobs is available to you. And try not to go in undecided, because if you go in and say you don't care what job you want to do, they're going to give you a job that fits the needs of the military, which means it could be good for you, or maybe they need cooks. And cooks are important because if you can't eat, nobody can do anything. But like,
92 golf.
yeah, try to choose a job that think long term. Like, will this job translate well in the civilian side to get a nice or a high paying job or a lucrative career? Whether any of you, if you do want to be a cook, good, study, see if you can get some certifications, or whatever job you choose, think long term how it can translate on the outside. Can it get you a clearance? Because having a clearance in this area, in the DMV area, makes it a lot easier to get a
But
job. Like,
where you went first time?
I'm sorry.
No,
Oh no, it was. I think her microphone just came off mute. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, continue.
Um, what I was gonna say, and the people that are, say, if you're a little older, um, either way, like the basic training and your tech school or AIT, that could take 8 months to a year, but 8 months to a year will come by anyway. So why not have something like this on your resume, the skills, the networking, a clearance, whatever it may be, that even if you want to join for 4 years or 6 years, whatever it may be, the time passes quick. Because I just joined, I feel like I just joined in 2020, and I'm getting ready to finish up. So um there's so many benefits, but go do as much research, ask as many questions as you can, because you also don't want to sign up for something that you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And these recruiters, don't believe them. Whatever they say, fact check it, verify. They're not going to promise you a mansion or a house in whatever country, whatever car you want. No, whatever they say, fact check it. Like, go there with a plan. And if it's not on your contract, then they don't have to honor it, unfortunately. So if they say, oh, we can get you this, that, pay for your student loans, make sure it's on your contract.
It's on right.
Because once it's in writing, they have to honor that. If it's not, then it's just, if they're a bad recruiter, then it sucks, but it is what it is. So if you have any questions, there's plenty of us in the military that'll all give you advice that'll help shape or guide you in the way you should go. I had a list of other things, but like I said, just think long term because I'm getting ready to. I mentioned before going deployment, and it's 9 months. I just got married. My wife didn't want me to go. I don't necessarily want to go, but I'm thinking of it as a long term investment because with disability, I'll give an example. My coworker, he only had 50%, right? For I don't know, you can claim asthma or your leg hurts or whatever it may be. Because as we get old, your leg's gonna hurt anyway. So why not have the military pay you? He's getting 50% and he's getting almost 2K a month tax free for the rest of his life. So it's like there's all these benefits that are available to you. And nowadays we have the internet. Just look it up, ask questions, pray. If you have any questions, I'm sure myself or the rest of us can help guide you in the right way. So that's all I got.
All right. Thank you very much for that piece of advice. A1C Jamra, are you ready now? Okay, so if A1C Jamra isn't ready, we'll take your final words, ma'am. CW02 Asante will take your final words.
So for the record, you know there's no CW02, right? It's just CW2. But anyway,
CW2, warrant
so I
officer.
just I just want to speak to those people who have joined. I know someone had a question saying if they had a degree and they went on the enlisted side, right? So that was me because I didn't know when I joined, I didn't really know a lot about the military. I didn't do a lot of research. So I had a master's when I joined and I went the enlisted route. I didn't know that I could just go, be officer or whatever the case. So if that's you, I always like to speak on career progression and securing your retirement, right? Because the military, they're going to use you for their own stuff. So you might as well benefit from them while you're getting used. You know what I mean? So if you're on the enlisted side, it's not over for you. You don't have to stay on the enlisted side. You can still be an officer. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and switch over to that side because it's a better retirement. For example, warrants. Moving from the NCO side to become a warrant, best recommendation I can make, especially if you're infused like logistics. Um, it's very easy. Warrant officers is a little hard because obviously you're going to be the subject matter expert for your craft. They're going to come to you for all the recommendations, all the answers, but you're trained to know that stuff. And the good thing on the warrant side is you've already done the job. You know what I mean? So basically, all warrants have been enlisted and they've done the job as an enlisted person. So it's not too complicated because most time you already know the stuff. So I would highly recommend if you at least are E5 and above, if you have had at least 6 years, because that's kind of what they look for. Like you at least have to have been in for 6 years, and you have had to have done that job for that time frame. Definitely consider switching. I know it's not for everyone. Some people rather stay to, for example, I wanted to be a sergeant major. That was my dream job. But hey, I switched over because, again, better retirement. So that's just something I tell people to look into. And finally, if you already are in, a lot of times I see Africans, we face a lot of challenges in the military because we don't know the rules and regulations. We don't know the regs. You know what I mean? A lot of times people will come up to you to correct you about something like, oh, you can't do this, or your bun is too big, just stupid stuff. But we take it a lot of times because we don't understand. We have not researched the regulations. I love regulations. As a warrant, it's my job to know regulations because that's all you do. You're going to talk to the generals and officers like the colonels and all that stuff as when you switched over to become a warrant. And that's the kind of stuff they come to ask you for. They're going to want to know, hey, which regulation says the soldier can do this and this and this. So the regulation is not only for officers to know. Everyone in the military should learn the regulations so that you can be able to better represent yourself. Because guess what? It doesn't matter what your rank is. You don't chump the regulation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So a great example I would give out to people who are in or thinking about joining when you do join, be a steward of your profession, know your stuff. What I've realized being in the military is nobody can tell you anything if you know what you're talking about. Be that person that they seek after. And the way you do that is you learn your job and you know the regs. Like know the regs, literally know the regs. And then finally, if you're considering the military, The only thing when it comes to the military that I can say that I wish I did was I wish I joined sooner. That's literally the only downside for me because being in the military, like someone spoke earlier, I don't remember who said it. There's plethora of jobs. Yes, some people would deploy, some people wouldn't, but that shouldn't hinder you or that shouldn't stop you from joining. You always want to think about progression and you always want to think about your future. I do want to correct someone did say, well, you can do like logistics and you're not going to go anywhere. Absolutely false. I started off as a logistician. I've deployed. So that's a misconception. That's not true. As long as you're in the military, there is a possibility that you will go somewhere. Now, does that mean you're gonna go in a combat zone? Maybe not, but I don't want when we're putting the information out there, just make sure we're not telling people like if they pick jobs like logistics or something, they're not gonna deploy. So that's besides that, that's all the advice that I can give. Just be mindful of what we tell people when it comes to like information. Something good to remember is don't trust the recruiter. I will say that. If you're thinking about joining, do your research. Your best bet is to talk to people who are already in the military. I know a lot of times when people go talk to the recruiters, the army has a lot of codes and things, especially when it comes to the job. The recruiters, they're gonna tell you anything because they're getting paid of bringing you. You know what I mean? Like they're getting extra to bring you in, so they're gonna tell you anything. If it's not in the black and white, you're not gonna get it. So your best bet is if they're telling you some stuff that sounds too good to be true, more than likely it probably is. So I
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend if you're considering joining, just have military people that you can reach out to, especially branch specific. That's another thing I like to tell people because sometimes someone might reach out to me and say, "Hey, Sister Love, can you tell me about the Air Force?" I cannot because I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't know anything about the Air Force. So maybe when you're joining, try to talk to someone that is specific to that branch because that's another misconception that I realize that happens a lot. Every branch of the military does not operate the same way. Everybody have the different regulations and rules. So just make sure if you're going to join, talk to somebody who's actually in the branch that you want to join. So
All right. Thank you,
that's all
ma'am.
I got. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Thank you so much. The last person to also talk will be Asante. WO1 Asante. He is going to talk, and then we would bring this to a close.
I believe most of the other people on the line have spoken extensively on the benefits and all that other good stuff. I'm just going to keep my brief. We've been preaching it have good benefits, it have this, join, do it, do this. But one thing I also have to understand is that the military is not for everybody. Not everybody will be successful in the military. If you go in and you do it right, you will succeed. Your life will be set. But if you don't do it right, you can get kicked out and will mess your life up forever. So know what you're getting yourself into. The military is not for everyone. But if you do your homework and you come to a conclusion that is for you, then you need to ask questions as to what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then figure out who you're going to talk to get you in the right place. Uremunso have an exit plan.
Yeah.
Don't just go and say more military, more military. Yes, government shut down by you jump the breaker, but we never miss the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
The military never miss a paycheck.
Yeah.
1st and the 15th, it was guaranteed. And job stability is there, but you have to have an exit plan. Sergeant, you talked about having certifications and all the other good stuff. The military is going to pay for you to get all these certifications. So we'll call college, it will pay for you to do all this college up to a master's degree. PhD, they won't pay. I'm trying to do my PhD. Yeah, I'm in school right now, but I have to pay out of pocket because they won't pay for PhD. They will pay for masters. And every time I hear education there, and I'm joining one, I school. I paid nothing out of my pocket. The military paid for everything. My GI bill, yeah, I have. I know I've said this before. I made the mama babako. My wife didn't them some bako. Until they are not going to take student loan to go to school. Omoko school depend on where they go to school. No, they're going to get paid every month just to go to school. Or more DC area, they're probably going to get paid close to $4,000 every month just to go to school because I served, because their mother served. You won't get this anywhere.
Yeah.
Military, every branch have their mission set. Army for no ye gidigidi, Marine Corps ye gidigidi, Navy for you last kakra. It is own pick gidigidi. I think so I've talked to some of the parents in church. Yeah, say but no your bar no person joining. I know that most people will tell you say I'm biased. I'm not biased. I don't gatekeep. That is not any man. Oh, but no person join military. The Air Force is the best way for them to go. It's an easy life. It's a soft life. They will succeed if they do things right. The Army, Air Force is a little bit more relaxed. And if banners of us or joiners or those things, guide them towards the Air Force. The only reason why most people are in the Army and the Marine Corps is say, yeah, Ashbab now. Depending on the score you get, you cannot get in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
The score now Army will take no. Air Force, you can't even get close to it. When I joined, now Army, as low as I think said 25 or 30 score, you could join the Army. The Air Force was, I believe, at that time as high as 50 or 60. And the Army for be Africa for is because as I'm saying, ABO will help Army Nankasa. We will also ABA want to pass it with the greater score to join the Army. But about no person join, guide them towards the Air Force, it will be beneficial. I've done my associate degree, I've done my master's degree. I've done so many degrees that I didn't pay anything out of pocket for. The military will set you up for all these things. It's like we all kept saying, if you have any personal question, I want to move and lie, so just reach out to some of us. We are always willing to do it. In pursue military because we say it have benefits. It is not for everybody.
All right, thank you very much. It was for you. Damuna say, munya bre moje bre na mobeka. Say 3 days we now know we've always gone past 9 o'clock, which and we always stay on. I would say yeah, damasi be brave. Say what would be na over question or one as a woman say what in the end I want to the Hope for Life is streaming on Facebook. Into go Facebook, you can rewatch everything again. You can rewatch every single thing. Maybe final words based on what I'm doing. I'll tell you point blank. You can still go to college, be a weekend soldier, get paid, get your tuition paid, get aside tuition, get your stipend, get double dip on the stipend between your two now. Don't worry about your men worry saying say how will I pay my tuition? Don't worry about those things. You just get paid to work out. Get paid to work out, graduate and be an officer. Get paid to work out, graduate and be an officer. In the words of Pastor, no, the military, even if we actually in Fimokrana, you become disciplined. That is, if you follow whatever they tell you, you become disciplined. It shouldn't be a secondary thought. It shouldn't be your last hope. Other than that, it will be difficult to even think about the way forward. The bad is between our journey, the whole way. A little housekeeping midday recruiters me so I'm buying a number ebema penny for penny educhum with number and bemano na do see how best to send that out. And now service members say, oh sorry them when yen kwa yini. Sabi yen kwa na yeah bad Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kwa. There are some who could not make it because of a Juma. They could not make it because of location or what they couldn't make it. I would seek permission from them and avail their numbers to memo numbers so daily. We have most of them's number. It was your question BR, just reach out. It doesn't hurt to reach out. I can tell you for a fact that the number of times I have called Asante just to ask him, I would say that maybe because be a name some join. I mean, Asante was probably the only person who knew because I kept asking him stuff. I kept asking him, telling him, asking him right from the day I was shipped out to the day I got there. That whatever was happening, I was giving him progress report and asking him the way forward, what to do. Because I believe those are the things that guide me. So obi the kind theater chimuako baby. Wabo kwina to or say men am inside go theater chimu for me for uncle. Debbie on kwina, I will just use that attention now, baby. Wafano mefa ho na me smako yi nibi. So just reach out to these people. Then and you can also reach out to our veterans in there to have an idea of what to expect when you are making your exit plans. Have an idea of that. If any Elijah they will be drew, yeah, no, they are starting the Tata will call you, call Air Force, which is a very good thing. It shouldn't be your secondary thought. Yeah, who ye and I am man, if they have any thought about this. MIA, you see a Ghanaian mentality or Ghanaian ideas as to what the military is. Reach out to these guys and they will be of help. Reach out to these guys, they will be of good help to you. Unyame enkaya onu nhyira yen pa wo dwumedi a yedi. Em say asante agye wo a obom paye maye na yedi dwumedi be wi. Answer na so we nim say penny for announcement bi a am be maye. If there's any announcement I'm paying for the beba media by Mra, Asante Airborne Paye upon you.
Yo, announcement I want to say nyame ya adoma watchina after a military for no program no ye be business meeting and into ye to nsa frasa for many na say obia mra no meche na adwene and some e bebo so no yade a ehia asafo no ne obia especially a ye ho nsensem no me yade a ada ho ache ye se ye beka ho asempa watchina nti nyame ya adoma obia mra no meche na adwene ho ma yina ye mra sore ntem se be ye betimi aye ne emayi damase.
Yeah, Mr. Mwamani Chaya Suja for the program 9:30. Pepe 9:30 boy and year two Brambi Kumimunium 9:30 on the dot year two Brambi Kumimunium and we are closing backstop time 11:20 by 11:20 no military ye na and ya day ye beji the whole day just so we can continue with the business meeting. It's meant as a military year program and a business meeting we are finishing on time by 11:20 na yen yapon na ye the next order of business at waso. Unyango pon enka unu shy officer, Mr. Obi to me about Paya my year pon.
Don't try bumpire. Come on, the right, that was it. And also, a namian sound with the Maya say, Yen Fendi and Como, Yen Church Adune, na yen che de yen so yesua, our bread there home a dom, sa equi, and Fasoa Abaso Amaye, our Yankase personal life, your professional life, any your Christian life, there a day a brain. Bebre nene woma acho. Ebi ebetu eho anamon. Omo a wɔsɔ ɔmo yɛ no, sɛ ɛberɛ duru na sɛ ɔmo yɛ a, yɛsrɛ wo na obi a ɔmo ne bɛdi nkɔmmɔ biara no ayɛ nipa a obetumi akyerɛ ɔmo ɛkwan yɛ dɔm bɛkɔ nkwagyeɛ ne ahomegyeɛ ɛkwan mu na ɔmo nkɔfa ɔbrɛ ɛma ɔmo ho so. Yɛka bebree sɛ recruiters bi wɔ hɔ a ɔmo nka nokorɛ. Sɛ eduru sɛ obi ɛpɛ sɛ make this move a, yɛsrɛ no wankasa ahyehyɛ na obi a obehyia no no ayɛ obi a obetumi aboa no na wakyerɛ no ɛkwan pa na wankasa ɔmo bɛka kyerɛ asɔre sɛ ɛyɛ o nanso baabi a yɛde mo akɔ wie. Boa yɛntumi prepare yɛn adwene for ɛkyena program. Deɛ ɛsrɛ paa ne sɛ ɛberɛ a yɛbɛfiri w'anim akɔ yi no, wankasa dom bɔ ne hwɛ yɛ so. Ma abɔfoɔ mɛka yɛn ho ɛwɔ berɛ a yɛkɔ akɔda yɛn mpa ahodoɔ so. Na ɛkyena adeɛ kye na yɛnam kwan so ɛrekɔ asɔre nso a wɔama ɔmo abɔ yɛn ho ban de akɔduru. Dom bɔ a yɛn ka yɛn ho wɔ dɔbɔ Jesus Christ din mu nti. Amen.
Amen. It was for Yema Yaho Mispa. See Dintitumui Yehua and Shet Menon Temda.
Yehowa nhwɛ me no nkyɛn.
Amen.
Amen.